to your question.
No problem, brother. It's okay.
I'm not sure if I got the information wrong, or maybe I just learnt it wrong from somewhere, because I can't remember where I got the information. But I understood that you can take interest in the West from non-Muslims in the financial system.
And then spending.
I heard that as well.
We need to be pretty sure. Let me use that terminology. This issue actually in the fiqh books, they say clear that you are not allowed to take the money on mu'amala ribawiyya, on a transaction which involves interest. So you are not allowed. I don't know whether it's a new fatwa. We need to be careful about that.
Sorry,
yes,
I might be able to help with this because I did confirm this with one of the ayatollahs.
Thank you.
Why the Maulana Sahib, and it was to do with the, again, interest or mortgage interest. And what I was told is that we're living in a Western world. It's not an Islamic state here where we're living. So we have to, obviously, there's not going to be like if you go to Middle East, you might get halal mortgages, or I know you can get them now here. But at that time, I was clearly told that if you're going to get a mortgage and it's going to be easier for you to maintain with that mortgage, and at the end of that mortgage you're going to own the house, there's nothing wrong with it. Because I mean, I work in a benefit intervention and department, one of those departments, and there are some brothers, they actually don't take mortgages, but they will take rented accommodation and claim benefit because they think that it's haram to pay or either take interest or give interest. But because you're living in a kafar state, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, these are the kind of fatwas they come and sit and tell me. And so, I mean, the example that I had was that if I was going to rent a house for my family, it was going to cost me £1,000. And if I was going to mortgage it, it was going to cost me maybe £400. So that's when I got the fatwa, and they said that obviously in Islam, nobody, Allah doesn't want you to be in hardship, and if you're living in that kind of a state, you have got the full right to get the mortgage, and at least not put yourself in hardship. So, but I don't know, unless since then things have changed, I haven't been updated. So
thank you very much. Actually, now going back to the issue of mortgage, in fiqh there are two principles. There is a principle which is known as primary, and another one secondary. Primary is that riba interest is haram. There's no discussion about it, whether it will come halal or not, because the ayah in the Holy Quran is very clear. وَأَحَلَّ اللَّهُ الْبَيْعَ وَحَرَّمَ الرِّبَى. Allah gave permission to do business in transaction, but riba interest is haram. Now, secondary issues. If I live, for example, in this community, and I am in need of house, I know in the beginning that taking interest or giving is haram, but I will jeopardize my life and the life of the children, and eventually they will get problems. What can I do here? Now, based on secondary principles or secondary sources of understanding of Sharia, you are allowed, because there is need, there is darura. Now, based on this, we shouldn't say from the beginning that, this transaction is halal because it is halal. So we need to make it very clear. Now, another thing is that if there is a transaction which is known as, I'm not very sure about this, where they say that halal mortgage and halal this and halal that, whether those are halal really or not halal, or is just terminologies, Allahu A'lam. But there are people who say that yes, they are halal mortgage and halal this and that. If we find that those are halal really, we better go for those rather than to relax the law of on riba and say that we can go to these transactions because there is this fatwa. And another thing, again, we need to be careful about our maraji. We need to listen from our marja, which we follow, rather than to listen from anyone who says, well, because I work from the office of marja, so we can give this fatwa. We need to be very clear on these issues in order for us to do something Of course, our intention is qurbatan ilallahi ta'ala, but we need to have that clear cut on the issues of fiqh. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us all, inshallah. But maybe I can say, inshallah, if we want to discuss about these issues in our future discussions, we need to have special discussions on these issues of transactions. Whether, how can we actually get benefit when living in these societies where there are a lot of haram and halal things. So inshallah, maybe we will arrange a discussion on these issues in the future, inshallah. Now, please.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
I just want to contribute in this discussion about when the brother said we do some things for me. I think it's very positive to do something for you, especially remembering that you are a Muslim. You see, you are you, but you are a Muslim. So when you perfect yourself, you have actually perfected Islam. I think that's very positive. We have this saying in our countries, we say, the white people are perfect, they are good. And by saying that, we have actually elevated the Western culture as good. Obviously, if we do things for ourselves perfectly, very well, and of course with the intention to please God on top of that, then obviously we have helped Islam a lot. So I think it's good to go for yourself as a Muslim, because we can't separate. Unless you say you're not a Muslim, you hide your faith, nobody knows you're a Muslim. If somebody asks you, say, I don't have a religion, and then you do perfectly, then maybe, but so long as people know you're a Muslim, I think that's good. And another thing is, there are some basic principles in life, like we should have smart objectives. I think our lives as a Muslim should be smart. We should do things specifically with achievable and whatever smart says. And by doing that, having those aims, especially as professionals who understand what to do things smartly or professionally is, I think there is no doubt that we are crediting Islam, and the flag of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will shine. And in return, the Muslims will be elevated.
Thank you very much.
MashaAllah.